Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Tamitou here. My real name's actually Tammy, by the way. Tamitou's just my YouTube name, in case anyone wondered. But yeah, so today we're building an internet cafe within one of the various lots that I've built in my Little Havana video, which was actually my last one, which was quite a large build where we sort of focused on the exterior of the street and the details on the buildings and the cars and that kind of thing. And then I did say that I wanted to go ahead and finish some of the interiors that I'd left blank. So this is one of the ideas that I had whilst recording in the last one, and I had this light bulb moment where I figured that an internet cafe would be a pretty cool lot to build, but I've never even built one in The Sims. I've never really seen many sort of on the gallery or anything like that. So I thought it might be quite fun and different, and it really fits well with the environment that we're building in. So obviously we're building in more of a third world country kind of environment. So you have to think that maybe the internet is not as accessible everywhere, and this kind of place might still be sort of found on in a lot of streets. So it's somewhere you can go to use the internet. You pay for a few minutes or something, and you can use it to Skype family in other countries or whatever. It's just all under one roof. Anyone can go and just use the internet, or just game, or use the phone if you want, I guess. But it makes quite a nice community lot, I guess. Oh, I was listening to Miguel during this, so that's why. Yeah, so I added these loads of different old PCs. I wanted them all to look, I don't know, just old, like they've been repaired a few times, but they still work, so they're good. And there's a really old one there that looks like one of the first ever computers. But yeah, they're all kind of mismatched, and yeah, I like it. And the chairs too, it kind of looks very realistic, I think. And then there's even a table there that is newer than the rest of them. It's had to be replaced, so it's just a new plastic table. And on this side we have a couple of vending machines, which is really the only thing that makes it a cafe, in air quotes. You can just grab a cold drink or an ice cream or something, I guess, when you're there. But other than that, it is just minimal effort put in. So I've done a little desk here where I imagined the owner of this shop would be like an old man, and he's like cranky and he lives on his own. And I figured he would like run this, and he maybe doesn't even know like how to fix these PCs, and he probably gets someone in to do it when he needs to. But he's like this cranky old man, and he kind of sits behind his desk where he can see, check everybody's not doing anything they shouldn't be on the PCs, and like he can sit there and watch his little TV, and he kind of sits there and he doesn't like talk to anyone, and that's the kind of guy I imagined. So he's gonna have a secret love for cats. Like he doesn't want to admit that he's into these furry little animals, but he likes cats. He's got a little cat calendar, some cat posters, and in the screenshots you'll see that I actually did create him, and I added a little stray cat that makes friends with him. So yeah, so I don't know, it's always fun to kind of imagine, for me anyway, the characters that would go into a lot or a residential like a house or something. It just makes it easier to build around. And I did actually struggle at the start with this, just because I knew that I wanted it to look kind of covered in posters and stuff on the walls, neon lights, and not very decorated. But it took me a while to get going with how to place the items in a way that it still looked, I don't know, good, but not on purpose. So that's why we've gone for this random green bit of wall that's kind of being painted, sort of just to kind of hide the fact that the rest of it is kind of a mess and a bit cracked and worn. But yeah, it's just this bright, fun color that is so random, and it just, I don't know, it's just the kind of thing you might see in an internet cafe. It's just got this bright color to attract people. And yeah, there's a little table and chairs here as well if you want to sit and have a drink. But mainly, you come here to use the PCs. I mean, that's what it's for. So I also did go ahead and finish the upstairs apartment. So the apartment that's directly above it, you just you get in via this little door on the side here, the blue door, and there's some stairs and you go straight up. So I kind of imagined the old man would maybe live there, but then when I started furnishing, I had fun with putting quite a few feminine touches in it. So I actually figured maybe it'd be more of an apartment that he rented out. So maybe he owns this building and he rents out the apartment to someone else who's been living there and keeping it well maintained. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he could live in one of the other lots or he has a house somewhere, but it was too pretty, and if I was gonna make it for him, it would have been a lot more like bland. So yeah, anyway, so the upstairs apartment is really cute, and I really had fun playing around with the mix between sort of kind of furniture you'd find in hot countries. So the kind of sofas you'd find like fabric upholstered, no leather or anything like that for obvious reasons, and kind of mixing that typical type of furniture with more vintage, like proper antique kind of items, because as I explained in my last video, the way that Havana is, that it's been kind of stuck in time, not really being able to have any new anything imported to it. It's kind of been forced to make the most of the items it's had for so many years, like decades. So there's a lot of Art Deco inspired kind of items, some more like Baroque French style things, and I use a few vampire pack stuff, which you'll see when I go upstairs. But I just had so much fun mixing those, and then I thought, well, he wouldn't live here, no way. So anyway, yes, the upstairs apartments may be rented out privately or something. So we're just finishing off with the actual Internet Cafe now. I've put a few things on the desk, like the cash machine and the lost and found box maybe. And I do keep pulling out things for other lots, like that jazz sign that I just found. That's for a bar that I do eventually want to film also and upload a separate video on. But yeah, we're just placing these kind of things around, things that are vaguely relevant to the type of store that it is to kind of make it look like he's put more effort into decorating than he actually has. Because I imagine he would maybe spend the minimal amount of money possible on kind of keeping it maintained, if you can even call it that. So yeah, I'm just popping in some lights now, and ideally I'd want these to be ceiling fans, but we don't have those, so you can pretend. So now we're moving upstairs, and you can see it's still a very small apartment, but it's got its own separate bedroom and bathroom, which some of the others I've built are just sort of all in one, or they just have a bathroom separately. But yeah, I really like how it turned out. As I said, I kind of got to grips with combining two very different styles. Even maybe more than two styles, you could say. But this bed, particularly from Cats and Dogs, I really love this for Havana. It's the kind of beds that when I was looking for inspiration pictures of interiors in locals' houses, I saw a lot of these 4-poster beds, really old looking and really gorgeous, like really nice sturdy beds. So that worked perfectly, and I thought maybe the patchwork quilt was maybe made by whoever lives there or something like that. Yeah, so I went ahead and added tiles for the whole floor, just because I thought in hot places that's normally the flooring throughout is normally marble or tile or something. And then here I am just adding the kitchen in as well. So it is really small. But it does have everything you need, and it has this more really retro style cooker, which I wish it kind of was a bit more worn, but you get the idea. But it's from Jungle Adventure 2, which didn't make sense to me at first in that pack, because it doesn't really go with the counters. But for Havana specifically, like for Little Havana, it works so well because it's like an original 50s cooker that's still there. So that really worked well. And you can see as well outside this apartment does have its own little balcony out the front as well, so it has the washing line and a little place to sit and some plants and stuff. So it's really cute, and I guess it comfortably fits a couple. I mean, you can't really access the dresser, but I do like how it looks with this mirror kind of mounted up on it. I really like that. And that's another typical thing I saw in the inspiration photos. So these huge, like, old school style like vanities, I really like those, and this is where it started to get more feminine. So I added this really nice tassel lamp and another one here and some perfume and that kind of thing, and I didn't want to take them away, so at this point it definitely wasn't for the old man, but Yeah, I like how it turned out anyway. It's much more fun doing this, and I wanted to add some like old kind of like porcelain figurines that old ladies typically collect. You know those ones? Anyway, so maybe it's an older lady who lives here. I don't know. Yeah, I really wanted to add this huge dresser there, but it just did not fit. So I had to just settle with like decorating the walls and adding a mirror or two around. But yeah, that's mainly sort of how I put it together. And then I started adding really vintage style bits where they fitted. So I've added like old lamp, an old rug or two, and also when I add the chandelier at the end, it really starts to look cohesive. I think it really starts to work. So yeah, let me know what you think about it in the screenshots, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!